Hi, welcome to my second Cheetah3D tutorial. This one's not so much a tutorial, it's more of a Cheetah3D tip that I'm hoping you can use and implement in your projects. I found this tip when I was searching the Cheetah3D forums. There was a user called Andreu and he was creating this image that I'm going to show you here. So it's an image of some rings, and there's quite a lot going on in this scene in terms of behind the scenes. We've got transparency, we've got an HDRI, presumably we've got caustics, reflections, and it's quite a large image as well. So all these things are going to influence the render time. And I'm guessing the reason Andreu came up with this tip for getting quick test renders out of Cheetah3D because it was just taking so long. So I'm going to show you the method he used. It's a really neat little tip, nice and easy to set up, and it should come in really useful for you. So let's get started. I think I've already got open an example file from Cheetah. So this file, gecko.jas, comes bundled with Cheetah. You can try this one on your own scene. It doesn't matter if you use this file or not. So we've got the camera selected down here, and that's got all our camera tags applied that we need. I think there's some radiosity, and we've got an HDRI on this one. What we're going to do is take a copy of the camera. So let's press Apple C, or we've got the camera selected in the object browser, and an Apple V. And that's created a copy. And we're going to call that test render. Now that's been renamed, we'll drag it into our main camera object. And the reason we do that is so that if we want to change the composition of our scene, we want to move the camera around a little bit, the test render camera comes with it. Okay, so what I will do is I previously rendered this scene as it comes. I made it a little bit bigger just for the sake of this tutorial, but it clocked in about 164 seconds on my MacBook Pro. It's a little bit too long for me, and I want to make some changes, and I want to see them quicker than that. So I'll show you how to do that. So we've got our test render camera here. At the moment it's exactly the same as our other camera, it's just got a different name. What we're actually going to do is change some of these settings here under the render option. We're going to drop the min samples down from 1 times 1 to 1/4 times 1/4, and the max samples down to 1 times 1. The final thing to change is the tolerance. We're going to bump that up to 0.25. So what we've effectively done is drop the anti-aliasing right down, and you're going to see how that affects the image, but what it will do is speed up render times and gives a really good preview of how the final render is going to turn out. So I'm going to click on make active camera, and I'm going to set that rendering. Now it's going to be a lot quicker than the main render. We're going to lose some quality, but that's okay for the purposes of the test render that we want. We only want to check things like lighting, composition, just the way the scene's sort of set up basically. So while that's doing its thing, I'm just going to come back into our main file, and I'm going to show you how we can still move the camera around, and the test render camera will be unaffected and it will be exactly the same. So I'm going to make the main camera active again, and then I'm going to rotate the camera around a little bit, zoom out, and we'll pan across a little bit. So we change the composition there, and that's our active camera, and then we're going to click on the test camera and press OK. So you can see it's now the active camera and it's come with it. So we can change what we like there, which is really useful. Let's have a look at our renders coming on. So our render's done. 56 seconds, so it was less than 1/3 of the time of the main render. You can see, hopefully you can see, because I'm uploading this to Vimeo, that we have lost quality, but what we haven't lost is we haven't lost the way the scene's lit. You can see it's lit really well, you can see it's doing everything that it should be. We've got a quick test render out, and that's really useful for when you're making any minor changes. So I hope you've learned something that you can use, and thanks to Andreu for this tip. Thanks very much. Bye bye.